Hi guys, Matt V's Movies back for another video, and today I'm going to be looking at my Punisher collection. So it's going to be focusing on two of the Punisher films. The first being the 2004 version starring Thomas Jane and the additions that I have for that film. And the second film is A Punisher Warzone starring Ray Stevenson, the late Ray Stevenson. And that came out in 2008. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of trivia, a little bit of film facts on each film, and just showing you the additions that I have on the channel today.
Hey, mister. You dropped this.
Keep it. It's got a hole in it anyway.
Okay, so for this part of the video, we've come down onto the little table, and you can see that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 editions of The Punisher, the 2004 version starring Thomas Jane. So before we get into these, we'll just do a little bit of film facts and trivia, and then we'll look at the additions. Okay, so as I said, this film came out in 2004. In the UK, it was certificate 18. Action thriller genre, and it ran for 2 hours and 20 minutes. That's the theatrical cut. We'll come on to that in a bit. So, after his wife and family are murdered by a gang of ruthless criminals, Special Agent Frank Castle takes it upon himself to hunt down and punish the criminals responsible for his loss. The release date in the UK was the 24th September 2004, and this was directed by Jonathan Hensleigh. It was distributed by Lionsgate, Columbia Pictures, Lionsgate Films, Sony Pictures Television and New World Pictures. Based on The Punisher by Jerry Conway, Ross Andru and John Romita Sr. The box office took $54.7 million and music was by Carlo Silotto. The budget was $33 million. Cast included Thomas Jane as Frank Castle, John Travolta as Howard Saint, Will Patton as Quentin Glass, Roy Schneider as Frank Castle Sr., Laura Harring as Livia Saint, Ben Foster as Spacker Dave, Samantha Mathis as Maria Castle, James Carpinello as Bobby Saint / John Saint, Kevin Nash as the Russian, Mark Colley as Harry Heck, Russell Andrews as Jimmy Weeks, Eddie Jemison as Mickey Duca, John Pinetti as Bumpo, and Rebecca Romijn as Joan. Okay, so on to some trivia about this film. While filming their knife fight scene, Thomas Jane accidentally stabbed Kevin Nash. Nash accepted cold beers from the film crew as compensation. Thomas Jane trained for nearly 7 months with the United States Navy SEALs and gained more than 20 pounds of muscle in doing so. At around 1 hour and 21 minutes, Rebecca Romijn revealed that in a scene where she sews up a knife wound on Thomas Jane, she pushes the needle too far and ends up actually sewing a couple of stitches on Thomas Jane's body instead of just the prosthetic wound. And finally, Jonathan Hensley actually knew someone who parked illegally for 2 years in Manhattan by using the same bogus fire hydrant ploy Frank Castle uses to keep Liver's parking space open during his schemes. So on to the editions. So we've got 2 DVD editions at the bottom here, and then we've got the Blu-rays at the top. So we'll start with the DVDs and then we'll move on to these ones. So these are the 2 DVD editions that I have. One being the UK edition with a exclusive slip cover. I'm not sure what retailer that was for, but we'll have a look at that in a minute. We've also got a US edition, which is an extended cut. Now, there are actually 2 extended cuts for this film. There's a US extended cut, which is this one, which at the start it incorporates like an animated sequence, which unfortunately I've not actually been able to watch because I don't actually own a Region 1 player, so I've never been able to actually seen that version. I have seen like there's like a little bit on YouTube that shows that sort of section, but sort of seeing it sort of incorporated into the film, I've not had that experience. But yeah, and then there's a second extended cut which I think a lot of people aren't necessarily aware of, and you can only actually get it in Germany. So we'll look at that one after we've looked at these DVDs. That is actually on Blu-ray. So, and it's a different extended cut to this one. Okay, so we'll focus on that one first. So this is quite nice. It's sort of detailing of the skull. That is actually embossed. The Punisher is embossed. The rest of it isn't. But there's your spine. Oh yeah, the spine. It's kind of like a cutout thing. And then on the back here, you've got see about the film and special features down the bottom there. There you go. Over 17 minutes of additional material. Like I say, it's an animated version, and you can see down here it says 140 minutes. So if we slide this off, so it's like a quarter slip, I guess you'd call it. And then on the underneath, you've got a nice image here of Thomas Jane as the Punisher. Really, really nice image, this. And then on the back, again, you've still got that undercover. See this bit sort of, going over the top of that bit. We open it up, and then what we've got is kind of like an image here of the Punisher, and then down here you've got the disc with some disc art with the skull. Take that out. Now unfortunately this edition is actually a little bit cracked. There's a few cracks here on the plastic. It was second hand when I bought it, so I got it for quite a cheap price at the time. But again, you've got Thomas Jane underneath. And you also got a little booklet with this, all new illustrations. Tim Bradstreet, who I believe is the comic book artist. I may be wrong, but I'm sure AJ will correct me if I'm wrong. So we've got some images here, and I think this is the animated section that's sort of within the this sort of 17-minute sequence at the start. So it's very nice, very much of a likeness as to Thomas Jane. So yeah, that's the first edition on DVD. So this is the UK edition, and again, I'm pretty sure this was an exclusive at the time. I'm not sure what retailer it was. Guessing it was Virgin or HMV exclusive. I couldn't tell you, to be honest, but we've got some nice embossing on the skull here. The title isn't embossed. So there's your spine. Nice skull at the top there. There's the back. So we've got some special features there as well. And the running time on this one is 158 minutes. So on that other edition, it was 140 minutes. So it's actually, whether that's feature runtime, is actually a longer cut, this one, strangely, but yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. There's your tech specs. I mean, at the point of time, you know, 5.1 surround sound, so it was pretty good at the time. Aspect ratio 235:1. So take off the slip cover. Now, there are various editions of the Punisher, and if you go and check out AJ's channel, AJ's Movie Place, he's got a fantastic Punisher collection. He's got even more editions than I have. So yeah, I'd highly recommend going checking out his video on this. But yeah, I do like this image. It's nice sort of you know, montage of the two main characters. There's the spine. The back, and again you're getting special features here. Open it up. Now there's a little booklet inside there, and I've actually got 2 comic books in here. Now I think one of these was actually on a different edition, which I don't know whether I've got that anymore. I don't think I have actually, but so yeah, originally only one of these comic books would have come in. It may have been on the edition like this. So yeah, just bear with me. Okay, so I'm back. So yeah, what I've actually done is I've got 2 sleeves. So I've got this sleeve and then this sleeve, which obviously goes with the slip cover. So if we turn those round, you can see this edition, I think it's got more special features than maybe this one. So let's look at the run time on this one. So this is an R rating, so this must have been a US release. So I'm guessing at some point I must have combined the two, and you can see here 123 minutes. So the question being is, how long is that cut on there? I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. But I'm guessing if it's to do with this one, then it's going to be 158 minutes. Sorry, 1 hour 58 minutes. Interesting. So yeah, that's that one. Okay, so this would be the little booklet that you'd have got inside, and this was the other artwork that you'd have got on the standard release. Just a little advertisement on the back. Okay, so scene selections, Punisher the game, PlayStation 2, and so it's really just advertising that, to be honest. Nothing really special about that. Okay, so another little pamphlet that have gone with the US release with this art cover. So we open it up. So again, you've just got the chapter listings and a few scenes from the film. Just some adverts for T2 and Reservoir Dogs. Okay, so this is one of the comic books. Which went with which, I'm not 100% sure, but as I say, I've obviously combined the two at some point. So I've got an Open Water. That's just a film that came out in 2004. So this would have been a comic book, possibly a tie-in with the film. Again, I'm sure AJ will tell me that is correct or not. So yeah, nice little comic book. Then we got this other one with different artwork. That's quite nice. Nice to see rather than an advert on the back, you know, sort of tie-in artwork. So this is from Russia with Love. So I'm guessing this is an excerpt from a particular comic that Stan Lee presented. Now this guy was actually in the film. Kevin Nash, I believe, played this part. Yeah, this looks like sort of scenes from the film, to be honest, or maybe adapted from the original comic book. Oh yeah, really nice couple of set of comics. Right, so we're going to move on to the Blu-ray editions now. So this is a US, no, beg your pardon, actually it's a Canadian release. Quite hard to come by, this one, and a very nice lenticular edition. You've got the skull there, and you've got Thomas Jane in the Punisher outfit. And then it's actually like a, yeah, so the Punisher skull comes out of his t-shirt, and then it actually comes out like so. That's quite cool. Yeah, this is an out of print Canadian edition from Alliance. So there's the back. So we open it up. So again, different artwork. That skull again. Same back artwork. Open it up. So we've actually got 2 discs in here. So you've got a DVD version with the French and Canadian bilingual stuff, and then the Blu-ray, which I believe is region locked A. Again, at the time of purchasing this, I didn't realise that it was region locked, but yeah, the lenticular sleeve is a very nice addition to my Punisher collection. Okay, so this is on to the German edition that I mentioned earlier. This comes in a nice little slimline red case with that Punisher skull on again. There's your spine. This is a Sony release. Now this actually contains 2 cuts of the film. It contains an uncut version, which is 123 minutes long, and then it contains the extended version, which is 139 minutes long. So this is a different cut to that American DVD version that I showed you earlier. This is almost like a subplot to the film, but it kind of runs alongside. There's a sort of an extra part to it, which I've actually yet to see. It does say here alternate opening. I do actually need to check this out because I've not actually got round to watching it. But so you've got your extended cut there, and you've got the uncut version there. Both region locked B. Do come with English DTS 5.1 master audio, and it's high definition on both discs. So yeah, it's a very nice release, and I believe you can get this on Amazon Germany for quite a reasonable price. So if you're a fan of the Punisher, certainly the 2004 version, I'd highly recommend picking this particular version up. Okay, so the last edition is a Film Arena edition, and this is limited to 1,000 copies. 726 is this copy. Thomas Jane there, and another image of him there. And then on here you got the skull again, all in red this time, and the Punisher down the bottom there, and that's embossed with flames at the bottom. So we've got a J card, which has just got the picture of the Punisher on the back. So this is kind of like a velvet feel to it, like a fingerprint magnet, to be honest. Punisher there. On the top, this is not revenge, it's punishment. On the bottom, 726 of 1,000 copies. And then you've got the spine there, that's embossed. Very nice. So we're going to get the goodies out. And you get a booklet. And then we get the steelbook with a lenticular. So you've got Frank Castle there, and then you've got John Travolta's character there. So it's just like a flip. Okay, so this is the steelbook that you get with this release. So again, you got the image of the skull there. No embossing or debossing on here, which is a shame. The spine. And on the back, you got that image of the two main characters with the skull in the centre. Open this up. Okay, so we've got some goodies inside here. Okay, so you've got the Blu-ray disc there. And there's a DVD edition of it. We open this. You've got a nice image there of the Punisher with the bow and arrow. So this is a matte finish, but it's a very nice steelbook. Okay, so as with all Film Arena editions, we get the character cards and postcards. So we'll start with the postcards first. So all the back are the same image. Flip it around. Nice black and red image there. That's a very nice image. And then the last one, that one there. And the last thing in this set, we get this nice little square bound booklet. Nice image again. Punisher in red this time. On the back, you've got like a half sort of cut version of Thomas Jane. We've seen this image before. And I think this is just like a picture book. Oh no, we do actually have a little bit of text in here, which is always nice for a bit of background reading. So this sort of scene here is, I think, expanded upon in that German edition. It's a whole subplot, which, yeah, I've not actually got round to watching yet. Should get round to really, watching that one and sort of form my opinion on it. But yeah, for me, this is the favourite Punisher film for me. I have to admit, I haven't seen the Dolph Lundgren version or the TV series, but yeah, you know, I've just really enjoyed this film. I've watched it multiple times, but just the theatrical version. So I think AJ put me on to the German edition. So yeah, need to check that out. Nice to have a bit of text in here, definitely. Behind the scenes, I think there. So yeah, really nice booklet with this release. So on to the second film, Punisher Warzone. So this came out in 2008, and in the UK it was certificate 18. It was an action genre, drama genre, and it ran for 1 hour and 47 minutes. After a local mafia's party suffers the wrath of the Punisher, a defaced member of the gang returns with an army of villains to seek revenge. The release date in the US was the 5th of December 2008, and this was directed by Lexi Alexander. It was adapted from The Punisher Warzone. The budget was $35 million US, and the box office only took $10.1 million. So this was a flop. Distributed by Lionsgate, Columbia Pictures, Lionsgate Films and Sony Pictures Releasing International. Cast included Ray Stevenson as the Punisher, Dominic West as Jigsaw, Doug Hutchinson as Looney Bin Jim, Julie Benz as Angela Donatelli, Wayne Knight as Microchip, Colin Salmon as Paul Budansky, and Mark Camicho as Pitsy. And so on to some trivia about this film. Sons of Anarchy creator Kurt Sutter wrote an R-rated draft that, according to him, took the Punisher character out of the comic books and put him into a real-world drama set in the streets of New York. At the very last minute, however, the studio decided to revert to Nick Sartoria's comic book style script with the intention of creating a sequel from that. Disgusted with the actions by the studio, Sutter refused the story credit and demanded that his name be omitted from the final credits. And originally, the film was going to be a direct sequel to The Punisher, 2004, starring Thomas Jane, and him returning to the role of Frank Castle. It was to be set 5 years after the 2004 film and would see Frank Castle arrive in New York and taking on Jigsaw, who is plotting to take control of the criminal underworld. However, when Jane declined, the film was rebooted and the script was rewritten and Ray Stevenson was cast as Frank Castle. However, Jane did reprise the role in the 2012 short film The Punisher Dirty Laundry. Now, I'm not 100% sure on that trivia because, as far as I knew, Thomas Jane was really invested in wanting to have a sequel and kept being turned down by the studios. And then the minute he then decided that he didn't want anything more to do with it, they then announced this sequel. So I'm not 100% sure that trivia that I've just read out is really correct. And again, I'm sure AJ will correct me on that if I'm wrong. But yeah, some interesting trivia there. Okay, so on to the editions. So I have two editions of this. I have the Best Buy Steelbook exclusive and the UK edition with a custom magnet, which I've purchased on eBay. So we'll start with that version and then we'll move on to the Steelbook. Okay, so with a lot of my editions, I kind of customize them, and yeah, I found this image online, and there's a seller on eBay that he produces these magnets, often lenticular, but if you provide him with designs, he's able to put them onto a magnet. So I quite like this design. Yeah, he produced this for me. Nice red and black. Okay, so this was the official release. Now, again, it didn't come in the red case. I've actually popped it in a red case. Again, I sort of think it sort of adds to the aesthetic. Originally, it came in the blue case. But again, you've got Ray Stevenson this time as the lead character. Different outfits, obviously, the Thomas Jane version. So we've got the spine there. On the back, you've got the special features. Region A, B and C on this one. Open it up and you've got Discar inside. So that's the UK edition. And so on to the Best Buy edition. Now again, I bought this on eBay. Got it for a reasonable price, but unfortunately it did suffer a little bit of damage to it. The seller was quite good about it because it was sealed, but Yeah, it comes with this sort of plastic sleeve, again with a nice red and black design and silver on the Warzone Punisher. The spine is a similar affair, and then on the back you've got your tech specs. So there we go. Now it does say region A, but actually because it's a 4K, the 4K is region 3, and I believe probably the Blu-ray is region A, but because I've got that UK edition I'm covered, so it's no big deal. It does come with Dolby Vision and Atmos on the 4K disc. So we'll take this off. Now on here, I don't know whether you can make out, there's a little bit of scuffing here, and unfortunately the sort of end here is sort of suffered some damage. And so as soon as I took the cellophane off, this was kind of revealed, but the seller was quite good about it and gave me some sort of partial refund at the time. Okay, so this is the real highlight of this edition, is this steelbook. It's a really nice glossy steelbook, really wonderful design on here. Really do like that. You've got the spine there. Then on the back you've got sort of montage of images, jigsaw in the background. Very, very nice sort of colour choice, and yeah, very, very nice steelbook. Open it up, and then again there's a digital code there. You're welcome to use it if you want to. I mean, it's being US based, so unless you have the capability, but go ahead if you want to give that a try. Okay, so we've got the 4K disc with some nice artwork on there, and then on the Blu-ray, same disc art, I think. Take that out, and then we've got a nice image on the inside here of the Punisher. So yeah, a very nice edition of the Punisher Warzone in steelbook from Best Buy. So guys, hope you enjoyed that look at the 2 Punisher films and the editions that I have in my collection. Yeah, I've sort of got some nice editions that I've built up over a good few years, and I both really enjoy both the films. My favourite is probably the 2004 film starring Thomas Jane. But I recently watched Punisher Warzone actually on 4K, and didn't actually mind it as much as I kind of went into it with low expectations again. I'd seen it many years ago, and I didn't mind it actually. It's not as good as the Thomas Jane one, but you know, it was enjoyable, and yeah, I really like the additions that I've got for that film as well. So do you like the Punisher character? Yeah, stick down in the comments. Do you have these films on physical media? Which editions do you have? Do you have them on, you know, DVD, Blu-ray or 4K? Yeah, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts down below. Please give the video a thumbs up. That really does help out the channel. It tells YouTube that you like these sorts of videos, and that encourages me to create more content for you to enjoy. If you're new here, why not consider subscribing to the channel? You know, there's a wealth of content on there which you can go and browse, playlists, etc. So yeah, why not check out the channel? Right guys, well that's the end of the video. Take care and see you in the next one. Bye now.